it's just fun, you know. I finally getting to live out another fantasy, you know. This whole fighting thing, I started fighting at 30 years old. You know, technically that's me chasing my dreams and getting my piece of the pie, though it's on an amateur level. You know, that means a lot to me, you know, like even if it's in my head, you know, some guys don't care about titles, I care about titles, you know. And being with Bobby Campbell, it just feels right, it feels like the right time. I like to live in the moment a lot, but I like to be known as someone who, I guess, predominantly chased their dreams and didn't let nothing stop them. I've had a lot of hurdles to get over. I've had a lot of naysayers, but fuck that, you know, none of that matters. Whatever you want to do, just go do it, that's it. Don't let nothing stop you, don't make no excuses. And I'm big into the law of attraction too. You gotta have positive energy, you gotta have a good team. And don't try to be, just try to be the best you. Don't try to be the best and compare yourself to everybody all the time, you know. You gotta take things one step at a time. And I like to be a good example of that, you know. And, yeah, man, and just remember that the sleeping giant, you know, he's the underdog who became something special, you know, and inspired other people to do something. My nickname comes from the sleeping giant because sometimes, especially growing up, I felt dormant. You know, I felt like there was something inside of me, something to prove, something that could do something different, you know, something that brought a lot of excitement to my life. And one thing led to another, you know, and I kept it going from there, which led to this championship title. I want that belt. That's glory right there.
Why do you fight?
Why do I fight? I fight for different reasons. I say when I first started training, originally I wasn't planning to like spar. I just wanted to train. You know, I was coming back from a back surgery I had and a tough time in my life. So I went there, I started training. I see some guys sparring a couple of days later, and I decided to jump in. And you know, at first I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't want to look scared in front of everybody. You know, I was a tough kid. Like, the way I grew up, I've been in street fights. So I'm like, all right, you know, you do what you gotta do. And as soon as I heard my sensei at the time say work, it was like the world disappeared. You know, when I heard the word work, it's like I escaped from every problem, every fear, every commitment, you know. It was just like, if I don't do something quick, this guy's gonna try to whoop my ass. And I also wanted to prove myself. So, you know, it was escapism, you know. And then I started to really thrive and feed off of the thrill of danger, of having to protect myself, score, put in work, make sensei proud, you know. And then eventually led into competition. And then when I started competing, I realized I was doing it for the glory. You know, my nickname comes from that, sleeping giant, because sometimes, especially growing up, I felt dormant. You know, I felt like there was something inside of me, something to prove, something that could do something different, you know, something that brought a lot of excitement to my life. And one thing led to another, you know, and I kept it going from there. Escapism and glory, you know, which led to this championship title. I want that belt. That's glory right there.
What does your support system look like?
Kickboxing. All right. Sometimes I feel like a Ronin because I've had so many mentors, coaches, senseis, professors. Predominantly at the moment with my grappling, I'm with Team Believe. But when it comes to my striking, I'm Team Campbell. It's been a long time coming. I've known Bobby Campbell for a while. And I've always like fantasized about training under him and be a part of his team. And now that I'm here doing it, it's just fun. You know, I finally getting to live out another fantasy. You know, this whole fighting thing, I started fighting at 30 years old. You know, technically that's me chasing my dreams and getting my piece of the pie, though it's on an amateur level. You know, that means a lot to me, you know, like even if it's in my head, you know, some guys don't care about titles, I care about titles, you know. And being with Bobby Campbell, it just feels right. It feels like the right time. You know, I wanna be part of that whole not just hypeness, but the legacy too. You know, he's made so many champions. It would mean a lot to me to be on that wall with his guys, you know. So right now I'm riding with Team Campbell. I'm gonna be with Team Campbell for many years to come. Bobby's great, man. He's a great coach, a great guy, and just feels like home instantly. You know, I always felt part of the family. Now I'm here and I can pay my dues, you know, like the other family members, you know. So it feels good. Team Campbell, here we are.
There you go. Yes. There we go. Good. One more. Again. Good. Again. Nice. One more. Right. Straight right? Yep, straight right. There you go.
Yeah.
With the baby on the way, how is it affecting?
It doesn't affect my training that much in the sense of I don't feel extra pressure. But again, you know, I'm a big dreamer, big in my head. So I'm big into visualizing. So I would say the most thing that it affects is my fantasies. And I fantasize, you know, pictures of my baby with the belt. You know what I'm saying? I think about, you know, her growing up, running around with the belt, you know, thinking about daddy and what he did. And of course, I'm going to brainwash her to love fighting. I'm a trainer. As soon as she's eating baby food, I'll probably start having a slip, you know, doing slips, little ducks. Just, you know, like, just being a big part of her life and introducing her to something I love a lot, you know, and hopefully she'll love it too. So it's exciting, but I try not to let it build up any pressure. You know, the baby's not born yet, so I don't feel like I have to prove anything to her. I know I'm going to prove it to her by being a good dad. So, you know, it's just extra fun, I say, extra fun, you know. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, man, I'm doing it for my kids, you know, you know. I'm excited about my daughter coming, but, you know, I got so many waves I'm riding right now, you know, so I try to compartmentalize it, if I said that correctly, and take it one chunk at a time, you know. So I don't know if that answered the question. I drift off sometimes. What's up, Canada?
What should the world know about this up-and-coming New York breed fighting?
New York breed fighting. I think the New York guys have been wanting to be a part of the platform for a long time. When I started training like 9 years ago, it was at a funny time where it wasn't legal yet. So you had some McDojos, like they like to say, and then you had some serious, legit fight teams. And those guys used to have to travel really far all the time. And, you know, that was just an extra burden to the already huge amount of burdens they carry in their fight camp. So I think now that it's legal in New York, these New York fighters can finally embrace that in a local setting and just thrive and hone their skills. And I think New York, right away, kind of blew up overnight. All the big organizations want to use New York for their venues. But now I think the fighters are going to start taking over a big chunk of the game, you know, because now we have that outlet, you know. So unfortunately, I started this late, so I doubt if I'll ever be a pro. But, you know, I'm going to put in a lot of work in this amateur game and see where we go from here. Try to build my own little amateur legacy, you know. Shouts out to New York, man, New York fighters.
More surgery than an average Hollywood actor. How do you get your mind past the fight and not let your fear of being paralyzed affect you?
Back to that word, compartmentalizing. I hope I'm saying that right. You know, my first sensei used to always tell me, you cannot fear injuries. You know, my first 4 years of training Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, it's very brutal on your body. A lot of wear and tear, a lot of injuries, joint manipulation, takedowns, slams. You're learning to fall while you're also being slammed over your shoulder by, you know, it's just crazy. But, you know, so he used to tell me you can't fear injuries because he was superstitious. If you feared injuries, he believed they would occur more often. And then he got me into believing that. You know, the more I feared it, the more bad stuff happened. So I just let it go. And I said, you know, it's in the universe's hands, it's in God's hands. And if I get injured, I get injured. And once I finally let that go, I feel like the injury rate definitely decreased, you know. But, you know, things do happen. And any person that is a practitioner of jiu-jitsu or MMA in general or fighting, you have to deal with a certain degree of nagging injuries to get through it, you know, and continue to do what you love. So when it comes to being paralyzed, I don't even like saying that word. You know, I guess you got to be a little ignorant and naive. And I just say, hey, it's not going to happen to me, you know. And I go out there and I try to hurt this guy before he can hurt me. I will say it makes me more nasty in fighting. And it makes me take it more serious because, you know, sometimes, God forbid, when I go in there, it could be the last time, you know, I get to walk out of there. So I can't play no games, you know. I'm here to end this shit, you know. Not do nothing stupid. And, you know, I'll go to a long war if it takes. But if I see a moment to end it or hurt someone, I got no compassion. I'm going to try to hurt you, you know. Keep it funky, you know. I got to protect my ribs, you know.
Nice. Good. Double it up.
Okay.
You saying your boy got bars.
Oh man.
As a personal fan of hip hop, we would love to hear you drop a bar right now. And we also want to know your MC name.
I used to, around for many years, I was part of 2 groups. We had a little independent company going. Neither here nor there. We used to do shows, do our thing. You know, I love hip hop. I don't love it the same I used to, but I guess since I'm being put on the spot, I have to
drop those lines.
give bars, right? I feel like I'm on Hot 97 right now. I'll give you something from a fight song. I'm a force to be reckoned with, a boss on some, I fucked that up. It's not even the right how it starts. That career's over, that's in the past. You gotta Google and research that. Look up Joe Young, maybe you'll find some old stuff.
What's your MC name?
Joe Young. Yeah. I used to go by Joe Young.
That was pretty good.
All right. I messed that up. I could do way better, but you know, it is what it is. All right. You know what? Let me take one in. I'll do the first verse of that song. It doesn't matter who I face, cause I'm a safe bet to win. I'll check a chin. You won't get a chance to catch a second win. Who's next? Put a check next to them, cause I'm a hoarder. I'll be collecting wins. Who stands in my direction? My hands on my weapons. I put mine over matter, and the plan is to wreck 'em. I stay cool under fire, always cool under fire. No longer at the bottom, I'm moving up higher. Staying in front of me, you go to sleep like an ambient. It's never been a challenge. I've always been a champion. Straight up, coming. Sleeping giant, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, Jackhammer Promotions, Team Campbell. Hey. All right, let me stop. I'm turning 16 again.
Next question.
Yeah.
We just heard you drop bars.
Okay.
Would you ever take a rap song and come out to your rap song?
Is that really one of the questions?
No, I just added that.
I was like, wait. Actually, those bars that I spit was from a fight song I made, and I tried to get the beat cleared. I don't have rights to the song, and the guy wanted to charge me like $5,000 for the beat, you know. So he set me up. He's like, oh, it's gonna be cheap. Here's the beat. He made me fall in love with it, work on something, and you know, I wasn't about to put $5,000 on something I do for fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is. So I probably could come out to it. I have a song, so maybe I will come out to it, but I couldn't really put it on social media. I get in trouble for that, you know. But I could play it in the airwaves. They can't stop me in the clubs. You know, so yeah, maybe I'll come out with it one day.
It took New York a long time to get MMA legal.
Okay.
Now that it's here, have you noticed?
I noticed a lot of changes. You know, besides being a fighter, I'm a fan, and besides being a fan, I don't know what they would consider me, but you know, I got the podcast, and you know, I study the game a lot. I would love to be like an analyst, and you know, it changed a lot for the promoters too. It's harder to put on shows, so when you fighters get to be part of a show, you know, appreciate that. You know, try to work with the promoters and try to keep everything love. there's a lot of competition going on. Some of the promotions don't mingle well. Some of the fighters don't mingle well. But we're getting through it together as a community, and we're putting the pieces together. And I think over time, New York's gonna have a strong MMA community. You know, more schools are opening up, and yeah, man, the scene is hot right now. It's hot.
What are your thoughts on TRT?
TRT. I'm not a fan of it. You know, it is what it is. I'm aware that a lot of fighters do this kind of stuff, but I don't like it. You know, I don't like to sit there and like go hard and hate the people that do it. But I'm not a fan of it. You know, I think if people were gonna take something that made them good, what's the point of having the sport? You know, I feel what makes the sport cool is that everyone's individual. Some people are naturally blessed. Some people bust their ass to become that good, and that's what makes it interesting and exciting to me. If you can inject yourself, then it's gonna become like an arms race. Everyone's gonna try to get the best TRT, and they're gonna be like super mutants, you know. And I'm gonna see like Triple H and The Rock doing MMA, you know, like these huge like they can't walk around, you know. Got veins popping. Those guys are scary though. In the tournaments, you can tell sometimes who you think's on TRT. I've seen guys like throw medals and flip tables, like legit roid rage. So I don't know. I'm not a fan.
In 100 years from today, what's the one thing you hope? Hope the barber shops, gyms would say about Jose the Sleeping Giant. How do you want
100 years from today, how I want to be remembered. If I could get big and be known by a lot of people, cool. But if I'm just known through my family members, you know, I just want to be known for. I haven't put too much thought to that, you know. I like to live in the moment a lot, but I like to be known as someone who, I guess, predominantly chased their dreams and didn't let none stop them. I've had a lot of hurdles to get over. I've had a lot of naysayers, but fuck that, you know. None of that matters. Whatever you want to do, just go do it. That's it. Don't let none stop you. Don't make no excuses. And I'm big into law of attraction too. You gotta have positive energy. Gotta have a good team, and don't try to be. Just try to be the best you. Don't try to be the best and compare yourself to everybody all the time. You know, you gotta take things one step at a time. And I like to be a good example of that. You know, and yeah, man. And just remember that the Sleeping Giant. Yeah, he was the underdog who became something special. You know, and inspired other people to do the same. 100 years from now, Sleeping Giant. What's up, Canada?
Finally, for those out there that have also people that never play a sport or do something they love because of injury or setback, what would you like to
Sometimes you have to take risks. You know, sometimes it'll try to, my risk factor because of my back situation, I don't even like to dress too much. It's not something I can hide from my opponents. You know, striking me to the spine is illegal, so I try not to think, oh man, my opponent's gonna use it against me. I don't feel weaker. I don't feel like my back is weaker than someone else's. I just have a plate and screws, so I'm potentially risking, you know, being paralyzed. But I love something so much, I literally cannot picture myself not doing it. So, hey, let's hope for the best. You know, pretty much, man. I'm throwing fire to the wind. I don't even know if that's a real saying. I said that right. I'm just putting it all out there, and I tell people that if you know you're taking a huge risk for something you love that much, then just go all in. Don't worry about it, and prepare yourself as much as you can, and do it as safe as possible. But you know, I'm not against maybe doing something that people tell you shouldn't. You know, I'm a prime example of that. I shouldn't be fighting, and I still do because I love it. I'm gonna do what I love, and I'm here to prove something. See the Giant.
question? And where are you fighting?
Who and where am I fighting? All right, I'm fighting this some guy. What's that guy's name again? No, I'm fighting a guy I know well. We fought before. It's a rematch. I beat him. He was sour about that. He challenged me, and he happens to be the champion. So now's the perfect time to dethrone this guy. He's a good guy. No disrespect to him, but we're here to be competitive. You know, I know when it comes down to that ring, he's not gonna have no compassion for me, so I got no compassion for him. Shit, what was the question? Oh, who and where? You know, and so his name is Malik Smith. Shout out to my opponent, Malik Smith. You asked for this rematch, you're getting it. I asked for a title shot, I'm getting it. It was almost destiny. So let's find out whose destiny is. You know, he wins. This is his first title defense. If I win, my first title. And think about it a lot, man. I can't wait. You know, I feel good. I feel good about this. I feel good. The energy's high. I'm fighting for Jackhammer Promotions November 19th. Make sure you guys are there because I can tell you our fight is going to be epic. No matter what happens, it's going to be epic. Our first fight was epic. We're both aggressive fighters. We both don't like to back down unless it's, you know, for strategy. So you're going to see a high-volume fight, man. And the guy's big. And the guy's 3 times more experienced than me. Like, you know, I'm still a baby. This guy got like at least 15 fights, you know. So when I fought him, it was like 10 fights ago, you know. So I know he's going to bring the heat, and I'm going to bring the heat. And that's what I like, you know. I don't prepare for no war, but I'll take a war. It is what it is. Let's get it. What you got? What's up, guys? This is Sleeping Giant from MMA Bug and Team Campbell, and you're watching One Up MMA. It's your move, sucker.